What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. You're watching Garage Rats. You already know what we're doing. We're working on the EG hatch. We're working on getting this thing completely roadworthy. And in the last video, we tackled one of the major issues, which is the throttle cable. We have yet to know if that actually made a difference. However, I can already tell you that there's less dead space or play in the throttle body linkage. There's still some concerns that we have, and the next major one is suspension. So, suspension, let's talk about it. What's wrong? Well, the car is a 95 and it's been handled through so many people, and every bushing in this car is probably shot. With most cars that are this old, you're gonna have issues with bushings, whether it be body bushings or something like that. The rubber, all the rubber stuff for the suspension. So I went to Energy Suspension and I pieced together my own kit, because the master kit doesn't have everything you need in terms of like it doesn't have the shock mount bushings, it doesn't have the what's one of the other ones, I think it doesn't have the sway bar links and the sway bar bushings themselves. Either way, there's some kind of hodgepodge to it, but we're gonna go over what we got for the car. And so we're gonna get started on some of this stuff and see how far we can get. I've been running the red control arm and compliance bushings for the RSX for some amount of years, and I love the way it felt after. So I'm gonna keep running with Energy because I like Energy suspension. So with that being said, I'm gonna start taking off the wheels and start getting to the down and dirty bits of junk here, and figure out what we gotta do to press out some bushing. This is gonna be kind of an interesting challenge because I do have a press, but the press is kind of jank and I don't have any plates, so yay. So this was already gonna be a multi-day thing, but this just turned into probably a week-long project because when you pull out the compliance bushing bracket, there are 3 bolts that you have to undo from the subframe. These 2 are good. However, the captive nut inside this hole on the driver's side has decided it no longer wants to remain stationary. Now, we know that this car has had its own issues with captive nuts in the subframe, making it the 3rd nut that has broken free. And I'm willing to bet it's not going to be the last one either. At this point, even though we've already had it out once, we need to pull the entire subframe on the car, and we need to start over with that. It is going to be a lot longer than I thought it was going to be to get this done. So let's just get the subframe out and then we'll go from there. So far it's taken me about 15 minutes. We're going to see if this other one breaks off on me too. That one did not break. Now, the other reason I didn't go full gung-ho is because the sway bar is half connected to it still. Alright, so I'm going to show you what I think part of the problem was. And that was whoever really wrenched on this car last. So if you notice, this bolt's nice and shiny. That's because I replaced this one. That's the right bolt that's supposed to go in there. So is this one. They're just 2 different bolts, right? And this one over here, you'll notice, is very much like the first one. Almost identical. I would actually say that that is the same bolt that I replaced. But if we come over here, if you look at these, again, get the long one, you get the nice shiny bolt, again, one I replaced, and you get this guy. Doesn't even look like it's the same size. So now we gotta figure out what's going on inside the subframe. Actually, you know what, now that I think about it, I did not do those bolts. I did the subframe bolts. There are two more bolts that hold the subframe up. I removed those last time. I didn't do this last time, otherwise we would have already done the bushings. Okay, so all the bolts out of the subframe are out, but I just had one startling revelation. I gotta pull the stupid rear engine mount again. Last time I did this whole project was a hell. Just hell as it was, just for getting that rear motor mount back in. This is gonna suck a lot. Like a lot. But it has to be done because right now we don't have a choice. We can't bolt the suspension in. So. It's a boy! Alright, now that we got this thing completely taken apart here. So this side, good side, right? So you got your two bolts here, where the other half of your compliance bushing bolts in. Then you get this one, right? That one screws in. This one over here, which is this hole right here. Like I said, we've already had to do surgery in here to get to these. Now I know why this one was here. This one was here for that. And then this one was blown out here for that. This is going to be a pain because now I gotta cut it open right here again. And then we gotta redo it. So I don't know how we're gonna get to this point other than we might be able to go through the top and find that. There's the nuts in there still. And it feels like there's a washer that's loose. So I'm guessing this was never meant to be removed, or that was never meant to be patched. We're gonna have to get to that one tomorrow because it's late. But subframe's out, which is kind of the hardest part. And then, oh yeah, one other thing. So, yeah, it was just loose. Just like that. So, while it's out, we can fix a couple of things. Basically, I think I got rack bushings. Maybe. I'll have to look and see, because if I don't, we're gonna buy some, we're gonna throw them in, and we're gonna get these tie rod ends off. Yeah. Chuck! Okay, that's gonna be it for tonight. I'll be back I'll be back in that, like, now. Holy crap, it was at this moment I just realized that this place looks like a bomb went off in here. Probably because that was the last bit of free space. But, so we're back in the garage, and we got a new subframe. So I'll show you that real quick, and then we'll work on getting to the point where we can get this thing going again. And we got a rack too. So I bought another rack, or I bought another subframe. It came with the rack for 270 bucks, which is more than I wanted to do, but this thing is hideous even after I painted it. Look, I mean, this whole thing's rusty, like bad, regardless. And I think this has served its purpose in life. To the few people who were making fun of me for not wanting to cut up on my subframe yet again, bite me. And to the other people who last time were yelling at me for cutting, you know, welding in the nut and all the other holes, and just making it try to work also bite me, because I'm just trying to do what I can with what I got. So we tried it this way, obviously didn't work. Now we're just gonna take it all apart. We're gonna swap over the hardware that I need, and we're gonna set it. So the tie rod ends are not going over, the rack's not going over. I just need the engine mount bolts that I have. I did buy I bought a tap, because one of the body mounts where the stuck bolts to is having an issue. So I bought a 14 by 1.5 thread tap to chase threads. And this should tell me that everything is good. We're gonna start swapping hardware over to the new subframe, chase some threads in the car, go from there. pretty sure it did. After another 10 minutes of fiddling with this, we finally got it out. Remember, the big side goes towards the bolt. So now we can put it back together. The right way, this way. And the bolt, bring your wrench on the back, center home. It almost goes through, stop, and just a little bit of pressure on it, and it goes right home.
Done.
Alright, so quick little recap on where we stand. All of the front control arm, lower control arm bushings, the shock bushings for the lower part are all done. And honestly, that's about as much as I was planning on doing in terms of the front suspension. We do got these bushings for the upper up here. But as of right now, those things don't seem too bad. And we're kind of running out of time here to be working on jump before we start moving. Or start getting ready to move. And we're very quickly starting to approach a moving timeline. So in the past, the assessment was that somewhere middle of 2024 we were going to be packing up and moving towards the East Coast for multiple reasons, but number one, affordability. We are moving eastward in a hope of more affordable life. That's the goal. And then, yeah, with that, if everything goes according to the plan that I've laid out in my head, within a year, hopefully, we'll be on track to have the best space I could possibly have. And it will be both a game changer for myself, and it will allow me to do what I want with the channel. So that's what we're gonna do, and we have a plan laid out, and so far it's going okay. There's been a couple of challenges, or a couple of I don't know, obstacles, I guess, I don't know, but the timeline's changing at a very rapid pace, to the point where at this point it's possible that we could be having to sell the RSX. The timeline's changed a little bit. I think we're gonna plan on it at least. We're gonna try and get this together. So what's preventing us from getting the car back together, rolling, moving, driving? Well, glad you asked. So the subframe, as you saw in an earlier part of the video, the problem I have right now is that this subframe is a power steering subframe. And I can show it just by this. If you take this and you line it up to the holes, they line up. But it had a power steering rack with an extra bushing over the rack, this bushing. So then if you come back here, we have another subframe hiding back here. And it came with a rack, but the bushing's in the wrong spot. This is the bushing that was on the old rack. So this bushing isn't lining up, and I'm not sure why. I'm guessing it's probably for an EK. But on top of that, these bolt holes don't line up either. It is shorter, or it's a different bracket, I think. What that means is that I believe that there is a subtle difference in the way that the racks mount on the manual versus the power. Some people say there's a difference, some people don't. But I'm telling you right now, that bracket doesn't fit on this at all. So I ordered a bracket. Since you can't find these brackets, I don't want to try and deal with tracking people down, dealing with marketplace crap anymore. So I just bought a billet one from NRG Tech. So we're waiting on that. The rack, I don't want to put that rack back in since we're already on the topic of changing racks. So, and that one doesn't fit, so we got another rack. So let's check this out real quick and see if it's going to be close to the one that we just pulled out of mine. I was trying not to buy the ones with the plastic zip ties, and now I'm glad I paid attention to that, because they literally just broke just pulling them out of the bag. That's insane. I got some stainless steel ones we could put on this, but right now I'm more concerned about the spacing between the bushings. Let's see. And it looks a lot closer than the other rack, for sure. This one's literally doing the exact same thing as the other one. You mother. Unfortunately, that means that we have yet another hurdle that we need to cover. So I'm gonna wait till that part gets here for the other part, and then once that gets here, the other bracket, once that gets here, we will be able to address the rack issue. And I'm hoping that we could just slide that bushing or whatever it is, that mount bushing over a little bit. We'll go from there. But as of now, the bushings I wanted to address have been resolved. We do have one for the rest of the car, but we also got like the control arm bushings, but we can't put those in because we can't put the subframe in because we need to do the rack first. So we gotta wait for that rack mount. Once that comes in, we'll continue. We need to wait for that rack mount bracket. Once that comes in, we will continue. But until then, I think we're gonna cut this video. I'll edit it. Viewership's in the crapper, so if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you made it this far, tell me what kind of cookie you like or something in the comments below, just to let me know that you made it this far. Otherwise, I'm just gonna start putting shit at the end of these videos that people don't care to watch, or that they'll never watch, you know. Give them, I don't know, $100 Amazon gift card, wait for somebody to get it or something, I don't know. I'll cut it now. Thanks for watching, see you in the next one.